Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Ultimate Nightmares run, where we take the characters that are hardest to beat in the new Nightmare mode, as chosen by you, and try to win with them. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Vampire, which is a character I've covered previously, but is one that I still have a lot of people saying they're really struggling to win with. So I wanted to show you an alternate way to win with the Vampire, and of course get a red border on the second map. The Vampire is a somewhat tricky character because the game tries to fool you. The weapon that seems most natural for the Vampire, the Sharp Tooth, is a very weak weapon and actually pretty anti-synergistic with the Vampire. Although the stats seem like they work well together, a weapon that is a very slow kill speed, like Sharp Tooth, is pretty bad for this character, which is often going to be at low health near enemies. So I find that this is one of the hardest ways to play the Vampire, even if it seems like the most natural. There's two ways I suggest playing the Vampire. With Spiky Shield, which gives you all the benefits that Sharp Tooth would and none of the downsides, and that's the way that we did in my other Vampire video. Or, the other method, which I've mentioned frequently but I think never shown, is just to play the Vampire as a gun build using submachine guns. We get a bunch of free lifesteal when we're playing this character, which means that we don't have to spend the money that an SMG build would normally have to spend on buying healing, and instead can just focus on fixing the damage penalty. Play this as a very safe, very standard gun build, and have all of the upsides and none of the downsides. We don't actually need to buy any lifesteal because we get lifesteal naturally, so I'm just going to go ahead and ban the bat here and take our 5 materials. That'll help us find weapons more. I'll take 5 attack speed. I would take flat damage or percent damage over this, but I'd rather not spend money re-rolling right now because I want to level my weapons. And with submachine guns, it's important to note that there is an animation glitch where the first point of attack speed gives you about a 20% increase in your damage with submachine guns. A lot of the ranged weapons have these weird breakpoints because of the animations. SMG is the most important one, so very helpful to know about that. Because we're using submachine guns, and in gun builds you generally want to mix in other weapons, we'll also add in laser gun, so I'll lock that. I'll lock the Weird Ghost as well. I could actually buy Weird Ghost and do a reroll. It might mean fewer weapons, but we get to see more items. But I think what we're going to do here is we'll just ban Dynamite and save our money. With a laser gun locked already, I should be able to get to 5 weapons very easily by the end of Shop 2, which is definitely going to help with our clear speed in the early game. We're going to take a couple hits here in order to keep our percent damage high, especially because this wave has the Mantis Shrimp, which when you're using submachine guns can absorb a lot of damage, so we need to make sure that we're able to clear those. I didn't see the tree until a little too late. I'd have liked to kill it. I'll just ban the turret here, and then I could take some harvesting, I could take luck, I could roll for a damaging stat. Let's just take 5 harvesting when we get it early. Alright. So here what we're going to do, I think, is just buy the 2 guns and lock the fishhook. I could have bought fishhook and then tried to curse something, but I think it is better to just make sure that we have our full weapon set. Then I am going to roll twice while we still have 2 weapons guaranteed in the pool to try to find more weapons. I want more SMGs. I'll probably go 2 lasers and 4 SMGs, as is my kind of standard gun build, but we'll definitely lock the laser gun. One advantage of building the Vampire as a ranged character, there's a few advantages to this. We use the lifesteal a lot better, and the natural lifesteal that you get as you lose health is one of the major advantages of the Vampire. So having ranged weapons to actually get full value from it is very helpful. Secondly, we are punished less by having low consumable healing or non-existent consumable healing. On melee builds, consumable healing is really important because you take more hits and you're right on top of enemies as they die, so you can use that consumable healing very effectively. On ranged builds, it matters a lot less, so we get more benefit, or the downside is less important. Weird Ghost is great. We have reduced HP modifiers on this character. We need to buy HP. and Weird Ghost is the most efficient way to do it. Also, it keeps us at low health, so we're going to be doing more damage at the start of the next wave. I will also lock all these items because we have Fishhook, so locking items is good for us. I definitely want more SMGs, because right now, the fact that we have 3 lasers and pretty low attack speed is definitely making it a little harder for us to clear large groups of enemies. I haven't looked if we have Horde Waves or Elites, and that will also change how we distribute our weapons a little bit. Also, I'm staying at half health, which we can do safely because of this character's bonus armor that you get at lower health. I'll take the attack speed here. We did get a cursed item. That's amazing. We'll buy a scar, buy a weapon upgrade, and I'm going to take the Ugly Tooth. We do have an early elite. I will just buy the Ugly Tooth here, I think. I was obviously hoping it got cursed, but I want to spend my money. We'll leave Cauldron locked and see if that can get cursed, and then we'll lock 2 more items. Do I want to roll for 5 to see if I can lock a weapon? I think I do, because we have Fishhook. Would I buy a cursed pistol? Is it worth locking here? Pistol can be okay to mix into other weapon sets, because it's very cheap. But I think we'll just stick with our current set of weapons here. Tank that hit, which obviously put me at very low health, but that's okay. I haven't found that much percent damage yet, so I do need to find some percent damage so that we don't have to take hits in order to kill enemies. The main challenge, of course, of the vampire is that you have to play at low health if you want to do damage. And so, and having high lifesteal as you lose health makes that more difficult, since you're going to gain a lot of that health back. So we want percent damage to avoid that. I'll take the alien tongue when it shows up in a box like this. I'm going to roll here, and then we'll take 2 flat ranged damage. We'll take an 8 harvesting upgrade, or do I want the attack speed? I think I'll take the 8 harvesting here. A second cursed scar, amazing. Obviously, that's really, really strong because as we gain more levels, we're going to gain more max HP, which will offset one of the major penalties of this character. I could buy the Cauldron, but I think I'm actually going to roll here, and the reason for that is I want to lock stuff to try to curse it. And what I will do is, and I also want to find more weapons. So I'll combine my laser guns, buy the submachine gun, lock Corrupted Shard, and re-roll, and then we can have 3 things locked. So while we could have afforded the Cauldron, I wanted to prioritize leveling up my weapons there. And getting more fishhook value, though the more important thing was leveling our weapons. I actually had a hard time taking hits. This is a darkness wave, so we don't have the environmental projectiles to easily take damage. And that does make these anemones a little more dangerous, since they hit really hard. So if I tank the first hit from them, even with our bonus armor that we have, which is about 15 armor after we take the first hit, it's still, we're within range of dying to the second one. We'll take the fertilizer here. I'll take 8% damage. Very important to boost our percent damage when it's this negative. And then we'll take 9 speed. We will now buy all of these items. Although we desperately need max HP, we can't afford to turn down percent damage, so we're going to take the injection here. We'll roll, level up our laser gun. Do I want a revolver? I could mix in another weapon just to get more weapon levels. I think I'm just going to re-roll, though. I will lock these 2 items and then roll one more time to see if I can lock something else. I think I'll do one more re-roll as well, just to see if I could lock a weapon or something else good. With Fishhook, of course, you're heavily incentivized to reroll, even if you aren't going to be able to buy anything. So if I don't gain a max HP upgrade, I actually need to be careful, because right now, as you see, we're taking 12 damage from the environmental projectiles. So I believe next wave we will die in one hit to an environmental projectile if we don't gain a little more max health. This looks super dangerous, but remember that we gain a ton of lifesteal and armor. So every time we tank a hit, we heal back to full immediately, basically. So I'm just using the damage that we're taking. I'm doing that when it's safe to do so, and then using that as a quick burst of additional damage to clear the wave a little faster. Here, I'm going to take 9 HP just so that we don't die, and then I'm going to re-roll. Crit chance is fine, but it's worse on submachine guns, because it only has 1.5x crit multiplier. We'll buy the bait, buy the hedgehog, ban claw tree, and then re-roll. And I'll take the dangerous bunny. We can ban pencil and re-roll here. And then we'll definitely take sharp bullet. Being able to get piercing shots, super important. I could try to curse the sharp bullet, but I think it's just more important that I take it because I really, really want to be able to clear this wave. Wave 8, of course, we will benefit from having piercing shots, and this is also a bait wave, so the sharp bullet will help me clear the lampreys a little faster as well. Wave 8 piercing shots are especially good because there's a lot of these really low health enemies. But now that we have 27 max HP, I am much less in danger of just getting popped immediately, and we can focus on buying pretty much exclusively percent damage for the rest of the run. Since we're playing the vampire, as soon as we fix our percent damage, we have effectively a bunch of armor and a bunch of lifesteal for free. And so we're just going to be significantly stronger than a normal character would be as soon as we get out of the early game, which is why I like this strategy and why I think that if you're struggling with the spiky shield strategy, you might find it easier to play with this one. I'm going to roll here, and we do still want to buy armor, although we get armor for free. It is still pretty important to increase our armor so that the first hit that we take in a wave isn't a massive damage spike. And then we'll take the HP. Cursed power generator, absolutely incredible. I was really hoping this would get cursed because this is going to completely fix our percent damage very quickly. I will take the mutation, lock the banner, and then do a reroll. We will upgrade our laser gun, and then just go to the next wave. I could, if I had some engineering, I could maybe lock nail and try to curse that, but we don't. I will say the fact that we're still on 4 level 1 SMGs is definitely not great. We do need to increase our weapon levels. I'll mix in another weapon, like if we find... Obviously, if we find a powerful one, like a minigun or something like that, we're always going to take it. But I will mix in a third weapon type if we find any reasonable weapon. So if we find a leveled up revolver, if we find a leveled up shotgun, we're going to take pretty much anything that is of a decent weapon level and can increase our damage accordingly. Because that's the main thing that's holding us back in this wave, for example, is our per hit damage with our submachine guns is very low. So it's making it much slower to clear, for example, the cursed slasher there. So we're just going to make our way around the outside, get some decent income. We'll take the baby gecko, take the helmet. It does cost me 4% damage to take the helmet there because of our power generator, but we still need armor. We'll take 12% damage, and then here I'm going to roll. I'm looking for flat ranged damage. I'm looking for movement speed. 3 armor would also be good. Move speed with power generator is strictly better than the 12% damage because it's worth 18% damage. So I think I'm going to roll here, and I'll take the 3 flat damage. All right, amazing to grab submachine gun. We really needed weapon upgrades. Also, I will say this fishhook has been doing work. It's cursed 4 items so far, so I can't complain about the fishhook this time. I know a first for me. We'll just ban Wandering Bot for a free reroll. We'll go ahead and buy the coupon, lock the laser gun, lock the clockwork wasp, and then roll again, and we'll lock the honey as well. I could roll to see if I can lock one more thing. For 9, I think that's okay. And yeah, we'll definitely lock a lure also. Obviously, I wouldn't do that if we didn't have the fish hook, but Basically, the way Fishhook works is every time it goes off, you get an item for free. Because a cursed item is worth roughly double a normal item. So we're effectively, with a 20% chance at cursing something, we just spent 9 there for 1/5 of an item. On average, obviously. Now, this cursed anglerfish is absorbing a lot of damage, so because my clear speed is still a little bit on the lower side, at least until I take some hits, I wanted to wait to kill the blobfish, but I actually messed up pretty bad there, and I killed the blobfish at the worst time, right after all those walruses spawned, so I made that wave a little harder than it needed to be. I'm going to roll here, and we'll take 8% damage. Now we're at positive percent damage. Sadly, our fishhook stopped being as incredible as it was. I think I'm going to combine here. I don't really like just having level 1 weapons still at this point, so we will go back to a 4th SMG as soon as we see one, but I just want to make my weapon levels a little more even. I will take the lure. We're just going to buy this whole shop, and then we'll do a reroll here. I will reroll again. I don't want to lower my max HP for the bone dice. I will go ahead and upgrade my SMG, lock the mutation, and then we'll do one more roll. I'll lock a beanie, of course, because it increases my move speed. And then Goblet is very strong for this character because we can't use regen, but this will give us kind of passive healing over time that's not reliant on attacking things. I mean, it is reliant on attacking things, but it's not reliant on lifesteal. So it's a good way to get kind of burst healing. Especially because as our damage increases, and it'll increase further as we lose health, we're going to make fewer attacks to kill enemies, which is going to make our lifesteal lower. You can kind of end up with a, you know, the rich man's dilemma of your damage is too high, which means that you kill things too fast to lifesteal, and Goblet can offset that for this character. Double Cursed Goblin Shark, definitely a little on the dangerous side, but we were able to clear those, and you can see that our damage is keeping up very well with the wave, and as soon as I take a hit, we get a big spike of lifesteal, armor, and damage, which makes us very, very safe as soon as we get to a positive damage amount. We'll take the Scar here. I do want more armor, but I'm going to take 2 flat damage at this point, and then I'll roll again. And I think I'll just take 5 crit chance. I don't really want to reroll for 20. We'll take the mutation, we'll take the beanie, we'll take the goblet. I'll take Terrified Onion because I have Cursed Power Generator, obviously. I wouldn't buy it without it, but very powerful with it. We'll take another mutation, and then I don't really need to buy lifesteal on this character. We get a bunch for free. Decomposing Flesh, still a trap for the vampire. And then we're going to lock all of these items, which is great. We do have double laser gun, including a level 4 laser gun, so we should kill the boss fairly quickly here. Trying to focus my laser gun damage on the elite. Definitely want to kill the enhanced Hatcher while we're trying to fight the elite here. And then we'll clear the Curse Alien, get the loot box. And I can basically, at this point, I mean, I want a little more max HP, but I can more or less ignore incoming damage for most of these waves, because I will take a severe hit, but then just gain 10 armor, which will make the next hit significantly less damaging. We obviously still want more damage, we want more survivability, but we're still doing very well at this point. Greek Fire, I will take just for the 7 curse here. The burning effect will be nice if I can trigger it, but I'm not going to go crazy trying to find a way to do that. We'll buy all of this stuff, and then we'll roll. I do want, of course, more movement speed with the fin. We can pass on the whetstone. We'll roll here. We'll lock the metal. Do I want a cursed medical gun? It is a cursed weapon. I think I will just take that. It's more healing, which isn't totally irrelevant, and it's a cursed weapon, so we're going to grab it, and then we'll just go ahead and keep buying. I do need to be a little careful this wave, because I did just lower my max HP quite a bit with the injections. And a cursed enhanced pufferfish can still take you out pretty quickly. We're not in danger of being one-shot by them, but if I take 2 hits in a row from them, I still probably die, even with the additional armor. So, what I'm looking for with my level 20 upgrade is probably just a plus 9 HP, just to get, remove the kind of last loss condition from the run. Once you have your basic setup online, and we are more than happy with our basic setup, you should be thinking, how do I lose? And how do I remove the possibility of hitting the conditions under which I lose from the game? I'll take the weird ghost here, and then I'm going to roll, and I would love attack speed, I'd love ranged damage, but we are going to roll for max HP. I'll do another reroll here, and we'll take the 9 max health. I don't really want a third laser gun. I'm a little worried about the horde wave at this point. So I think I will just buy these 2 items, and then we'll re-roll. The non-cursed medical gun doesn't really help. We'll definitely take alien magic. We need more max HP. And then I'll roll a couple times. I could take tardigrade, but I don't really care about taking the first hit in a wave, because we're obviously just going to heal that right back up. Game wasn't giving me anything to lifesteal off of, which is funny. And this is where the goblet does come in handy, because our damage per hit with our laser guns, and even with the level 1 cursed medical gun, is high enough that we're just not lifestealing that much. So the goblet helped us get back to full health a lot faster. But with 50 health and the bonus armor that we get when we take hits, I'm feeling a lot less in danger. I do still need more armor so that the first hit isn't so bad, and obviously it still helps with subsequent damage that we might take. But with 50 health, we have a lot of leeway to take the first hit and have it not be dangerous. We'll recycle the celery tea. We'll take 2 armor here. Perfect. We'll buy the cursed lumberjack shirt. Amazing. We'll take the alien magic, and then we'll roll. I could buy the cursed blazemander just for curse. Oh, right. We have Greek fire. So, yeah, I'm going to buy the blazemander here. It can help us kill the elite. And, of course, it's cursed, which is a major advantage. I guess I'll lock another cursed medical gun. In fact, I think I'm locking all of these items because we have fishhook. We would always take the feather, but this way we can get some additional damage. Our percent damage is actually really high at this point because we've managed to fix that quite a bit. And this is the advantage of just not having to buy healing. You just get to spend more money on damage output. Tanking some hits here and there just to make sure that we're clearing the wave as the enemies spawn. With the possibility of a bunch of cursed lampreys or a cursed enhanced hatcher spawning, I do need to make sure I'm improving my damage enough that we can kill those really high health enemies, just so we don't get completely overwhelmed if I let a couple of them spawn, and because it's the horde wave. We have piercing shots, but no AoE damage on our weapons. We don't have, like, an explosive weapon or anything like that. So the horde wave is still somewhat dangerous. But as you can see, we're basically invincible. I'm just running circles around and not having to worry. I could take the Dock Moth. I think I'm just going to recycle it. I'll take 3 armor here, and then we'll take 9 more speed, which is also 18% more damage. We'll go ahead and combine and get a cursed weapon. I'll buy the ritual, because I do still want more damage. And the lifesteal isn't completely irrelevant. Okay, so I guess I might end up with very few SMGs, because I am just going to buy the cursed guns when they show up. We'll take the small fish here. Oops, I forgot I had locked this laser gun, so I shouldn't have left it locked. I really want more attack speed, so I don't think we're buying the scope. We'll definitely lock this SMG. Hopefully it gets cursed. And then I'll buy the metal, which gives us a bunch of % damage, lock the ritual, lock the mutation, and for 29, I don't think I'm re-rolling here. I'm probably buying the submachine gun even if it doesn't get cursed, just because we do want rapid enough attacks that we can actually lifesteal using our lifesteal, otherwise we won't be able to heal easily. This character, of course, can't use regen, can't use consumable healing, which is one reason the ranged build is better, is the lack of consumable healing really hurts melee builds, but not the ranged build. Try to get some Curse Alien kills here. Since this is wave 16, just make your way around the outside of the map and clear the Curse Aliens if you want Curse, which we do. Oh, no. Oh, nice. Okay, I did get it. It was running straight away from me, so that made it harder. I'll take the Bean Teacher even this late, I think, and then I do have minus 26 luck. Now, luck is way less important to this character because consumable healing is worthless to us, and that's a big chunk of what luck does. I'm going to roll. I could take the 1 damage, but I do think we will still get a level 2 or higher upgrade, and more move speed is more damage. I guess I'll sell the laser gun here. It is good against the elite, but I'm really not worried about killing the elite, and I want to buy the cursed items. And we'll lock Pumpkin, of course, piercing shots with our sharp bullet. The Pumpkin is a very powerful option for those, and then we'll lock the scope as well. Go to wave 17 here, and we should be able to kill the elite very, very quickly. I could tank hits on purpose as well to make this faster. I don't think we even need to do that. But now we've got 60 health, and while our armor still isn't great, it's fine, and the fact that we get additional armor as we take hits means that we're very safe at this point. Now, of course, it'll be a little slower to reach the point where your damage is normalized if you don't have a cursed power generator. That's definitely a very strong item. But you should be able to find % damage. It's one of the easier stats to buy in general. You get 12 from a level 3 level up, so overcoming the minus 60 deficit is not actually that slow or difficult. Yeah, I guess I'll take the jetpack. It does cost me max HP and armor, which I don't really want to lose, but it's 30% damage. And we're actually getting to the point where the dodge is reasonable. I'm going to take 4 flat damage here because it works extremely well with our submachine guns. We'll buy the pumpkin and the scope. We'll roll, buy a lure here, and roll. I have so many weapons, it's a little hard to... I probably have rolled past like some medical gun upgrades or something, but that's not really a big deal. I'm going to lock the small fish, and I guess I'll lock the SMG, because I would buy it if it got cursed. We would probably just replace the medical gun with it. Actually, is the medical gun? Yeah, it's doing less damage than the level 2 pistol, but only barely. And at this point, my damage is high enough that I'm not even really having to worry about where the enemies are. They're just all dying immediately. Get the loot alien kill. Get the other one. Popping a lot of the enhanced pufferfish, but we have really high move speed. So the trick when you have move speed this high, by the way, is just to not move that much. Your movement is... like, I'm moving more than I need to, just for fun. Because I like running around. But you can see that sometimes, you know, as I did there, if you take a couple hits by running really fast into them, you can put your health really low. But when you have relatively fast move speed, you only need to push the button just a little bit in order to gain a huge amount of distance. So dodging is very easy. I won't take the level 1 SMG. I will buy the Broken Mouth. I guess I'll take the Insanity, get to positive crit chance. We'll roll here. We'll buy another Pumpkin. Do I want to mirror the Pumpkin? That would give me positive piercing damage, which is pretty powerful because all of our weapons, you know, have minus 50%. I think mirroring Pumpkin is good. Can I do that, though, this wave? I can't. We don't have enough money. Given that I can't do it, I'm just going to buy the Pumpkin and roll and look for things that'll help more. We will buy the Broken Mouth, lock the SMG. I already have Blazemander to set things on fire. I don't really need the Incendiary Turret. And then we will lock Spider as well. I'll do one more reroll. No, for 34, that's really expensive. So we'll just go to the next wave here. But so basically at this point, because my move speed is really high, the correct way to play this, if you're not just running around because you like pushing buttons, which is kind of what I've been doing, the correct way to play this is just to hold fairly still. And then if an attack is coming at me that we need to dodge, one press of a movement key moves us a really long way. And so we just don't have to make significant movements all the time, and can just adjust as necessary to avoid high damaging or high health enemies. And you can see here, you know, it was very, very easy for me to dodge out of the way of the walrus, out of the way of that goblin shark. I let that other walrus hit me, which was a mistake, but because we can just make these slight adjustments when necessary, it puts less pressure on my movement skill. We'll take the jelly here with 4 different weapons. That's obviously great. Sure, I'll take more % damage. We'll take more armor. Going up to only 13 armor. I probably should have had a little more armor in this run. I'm not going to buy the SMG when it's not cursed. We'll take the Spider here, of course. I'll buy Compass for 10% damage. And then I will roll again, buy the Lens, and we'll roll. And Cursed Jelly, that's a lot of HP. That gives me a lot of safety here. The Cursed Ratzilla would have been pretty nice. I'm going to roll again and just see what we could have bought. I could have upgraded my pistol. That would have been good as well. And then we'll go to wave 20, and we'll see how fast we kill the bosses. I wanted to take that hit on purpose to speed up my kill, but unfortunately, we got that dodge. And there we go. That's the bosses. A little bit of movement required at the end there just because my health was getting a little uncomfortably low, and I would have liked to have like 20 base armor instead of 13, and then the armor that you get from the vampire makes you more or less invincible. But the way that this worked out, we ended up with 200% damage instead of 20 armor, a trade I was pretty happy with. Looking at our items, I will say this was a very good fishhook. We hit level 28 off of getting some Cursed Scars early. Cursed Corrupted Shard is great as well. And of course, the Cursed Power Generator, very powerful, giving us 151% damage and 4 curse. We also had, at the end of the game, 31 ranged damage, which is worth a lot. We had a silver bullet. The Greek Fire dealt 84,000 damage when combined with the Blazemander, so that was pretty helpful as well. What else? Bag gave us 330. We had 186 from the Dangerous Bunny, 200 from the Coupon, 240 healing from Goblet. Like I said, this was an important supplemental healing piece because as our damage increased, our lifesteal got worse. And 111,000 damage from Blazemander, even without the Greek Fire. So actually, the Blazemander did incredibly well. This I was not expecting. With only 5 elemental damage, that's a lot of damage output from the Blazemander. I wonder if it's adding in the Greek Fire damage. It might be. And nothing else that gave us stats, but some pretty powerful items overall. And if you're struggling to win with the melee vampire, the ranged version of the character plays a lot like every other ranged character, which is the easiest way to win on Nightmare, so maybe this will be easier for you. Alright, my friends, hope that helped, and I hope you enjoyed the run. As always, of course, if you have enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.